ॐ सहना भवतु
ॐ सहना भवतु
सहनौ भुनक्तु
सहनौ भुनक्तु
सह वीर्यं करवावहै
सह वीर्यं करवावहै
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति
ॐ
शान्तिः।
शान्ति
ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं
ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं
शशिवर्णै चतुर्भुजं
शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं
प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत्
प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत्
सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये
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 सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं
सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं
वरदे कामरूपिणी
वरदे कामरूपिणी
विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि
विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि
सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा
सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा
येनाक्षरसमाम्नायम्
येनाक्षरसमाम्नायम्
अधिगम्य महेश्वरात्
अधिगम्य महेश्वरात्
कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तम्
कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तम्
तस्मै पाणिनये नमः
तस्मै पाणिनये नमः
अकूह विसर्जनीयानां कण्ठः
विसर्जनीयानां कण्ठः
इचूयशानां तालु
इक्षुयशानां
ऋटूरषाणां मूर्धा
ऋतुरषाणां मूर्धा
ऋतुलसानां दन्त्याः
ऋतुलसानां दन्त्याः
उपध्मानीयानाम् औष्ठौ न्यमगणनानां नासिकाञ्च एदैतौ कण्ठतालु ओदौतौ कण्ठोष्टम् वकारस्य दन्तोष्ठम् जिह्वामूलीयस्य जिह्वामूलम्
जिह्वामूलीयस्य जिह्वामूलम्
नासिका अनुस्वारस्य
नासिका अनुस्वारस्य
we have completed Visarga Sandhi. but I have put all Visarga Sandhi in one table. So here I have written what is preceded by Visarga and what follows Visarga. So I think we can start from back here. 1 minute. So here I have written before Visarga is Akara and after Visarga is also Akara. Then Akara, A and previous Akara, preceded Akara changes into the O and following A is replaced by, is dropped and replaced by Avagraha. So the classical example is Shivoham, Shivaha, Aham. So this becomes O or drops in the place of Akara, Avagraha. That we have seen. Again, before Visarga, A and after Visarga is soft consonant, Mrudu Vyanjana. So again, this A and Visarga and preceding Akara changes into the O and Samaha Bhutva, Samo Bhutva, Mana Pamano Samo Bhutva, that Samaha becomes Samo. Namo Narayan is also classical example. And last one, again before Visarga is Akara and this Visarga is followed by any vowel except A. Then Visarga is dropped. Bhuyaha eva mahabaho shrunu me paramam vachah. So it's become Bhuya eva. Simply Visarga is dropped. So this is one corner. Now before Visarga is Akara. Then what will happen? And followed by any vowel or soft consonant. So before Visarga A, and then if Visarga followed by any vowel and soft consonant, Visarga is dropped. So Sansparshajaha Bhogaha. Yehi Sansparshaja Bhogaha Dukkha Yonaya Evate. 5th chapter. So this Visarga is simply dropped, nothing else. And last one is before Visarga, any vowel except A and A, because we have seen everything. And they followed by any vowel and soft consonant, then Visarga changes into Refa. So here Visarga changes into the Refa. Sthita Dihi Munihi Uchyate. So I have covered both vowel and soft consonant. So at both Visarga converted into the Refa. So Sthita Dhir, here half Refa joins with Uchyate. So become Ruchyate. So that is over. Now here hard consonant. Before Visarga any vowel. And then Visarga is followed by hard consonant. But which type of hard consonant? So Ka and Kha. So optionally replaced by Ardha Visarga. This is called Jihva Muli Yasya Jihva Moolam. This is Namak Kalaya, Namak Kalavikarnaya, Namo Balavikarnaya. This is called Jihva Muli. Same way, before Visarga, any vowel. And this Visarga, if followed by either Pa or Fakara, then optionally it replaced by Ardha Visarga. And again we have to write like this. It is called Upadmaniyam. But we have to pronounce while chanting Fakara. F. Purnamadaf. Purnamidam. And before Visarga, any vowel, if Visarga is followed by Cha or Cha, then Sa means Visarga is Sa. This Sa is replaced by Shankarasha. So Ramahacha become Ramascha, then become Ramashcha. And last time we have seen why Sa become Shakara. Because in same table, Cha and Cha, Shakara is coming. That's why. Same way, if Visarga, before Visarga, any vowel, and if Visarga is followed by Ta and Ta, then this Visarga, if you want to remember Sa, then Visarga is replaced by Shanmukhasha. So Ramaha Tikate become Ramash Tikate. And if Visarga, before Visarga any vowel, and if Visarga is followed by Ta and Tha, then Visarga converted into Sakara. So Namaste Astu Bhagavan Vishweshwaraya. So Namahate become Namaste. Now remaining is before Visarga any vowel, and if Visarga is followed by Shankarasha, Shadmukhasha, and Sa, simple Sa. Then Visarga is replaced by Sha. If Shakara, Shanmukhasha, then half Shakara, and Sakara is there, then Visarga converted into half Sakara. So Namah Shivaya or Namah Shivaya, both are correct. Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. But while chanting, we can't say Namah Shivaya. In chanting Namah Shivaya. Shridharaha Shashthaha. In writing it is correct, but while chanting Shridhar Shashthaha. Gneyasa, Gneyasaha, Gneyaha plus Saha, Gneyasa. But if Visarga is followed by Ksha, then we have to pronounce Visarga as it is. Sukhinaha, Kshatriyaha, Partha. So this is all Visarga Sandhi is completed.
Swaminiji, just a quick question.
Yes.
In the any vowel followed by hard consonant for ch, t, and t, why do we say that the visarga is sa?
If followed by ta and tha, no?
Yes.
I have removed the table, but still, if I have 1 minute. Suppose Akoha Visarjaniyan. So suppose Visarga is followed by Takara and Thakara. So in same class, this Sakara is sitting. So it is very easy for pronunciation. If we pronounce Sha, when Ta and Tha, we can't pronounce. Namaste, it doesn't work. But Namas, it is very, always, I think in Sanskrit language, they put Sandhi for easy pronunciation while chanting. That's why they have put Sa. Okay?
Not that, not the second, not what it is replaced. In that other table, we are saying that Visarga Sa is replaced by Sa, Sha, or Sha. Why is that Visarga called Sa is replaced? Are we replacing the Visarga?
So one day I have told you, this Visarga can be replaced by Srepa also. and Visarga can be replaced by half Sakara also. They never explain in Anton, but there is a one Panini Sutra is Sasa Jusho Ruhu. Sasa Jusho. But you don't know what is the meaning of Sa, what is the Sajush. So sometimes Visarga in front of somebody else, it's behave like half Refa, and Visarga behave like half Sakara. That's why. But what's another word and Jush is totally different, is explained in Panini, but they never explain in Anton. So always Visarga can be replaced by either Refa or Hapsakara. Suppose Punaha Api. So how we pronounce? Punas Api we never pronounce. Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. But sometimes Namaha Te, we can't say Namarte. So it's given is explained in Panini and Sutras, but they never explain why. So I will put this whole table in our WhatsApp group. Even I have given all examples separately also. So there is a no question, no? We have completed Visarga Sandhi. So I have put one. Now we are entering in our all cases, you know, we have seen 8 cases. So I have put one sentence here. Arjunaha Karanam Hanti. This is the main sentence. Arjuna kills Karna. There is a one sentence. Now, this sentence is covered. If I ask, Arjuna kills whom? So answer will be Karnam. This is Arjunaha. I can always write one by one, means first vibhakti and singular. Hanti means kills, is a verb. But Arjuna kills whom? What? So whatever answer will come, always we have to put in second case. Now we can again ask, who is Arjuna? The answer will be Nrupasya Putraha Arjunaha. So this Nrupasya indicate it is a relation. It is the son of king. So Nrupasya Putraha, so it becomes 6th case, genitive case. If we ask how Arjuna has killed Karna, he says, Banena, with the help of arrow. With the help of whom? So this will indicate 3 by 1. Why Arjuna has killed Karna? Just for sake of happiness? So its answer is no. Dharmaya. For the sake of Dharma, Arjuna has killed Karna. So Dharmaya is a 4 by 1. And when Arjuna kills Karna, how he is killed? So sometimes we say because of anger, out of anger. So Krodhat. Krodhat Arjunaha Karnam Hanti, out of anger, because of anger. So this Krodhat will come in 5th case. And where Arjuna kills Karna, when we ask where, it always show location. So Kurukshetra, so this will be 7/1. So in Kurukshetra, so in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krodhat, out of anger, for the sake of Dharma, with the help of Bana, arrow, the son of King Arjuna kills Karna. So it covers all vibhaktis, all 7 vibhaktis. Even if suppose I can put here, I have not, but I can write here, O Dhritarashtra. So it can cover also vocative. Dhritarashtra. So we can put is 8/1. Clear? So that I have put. Hanti will come in the center. Hanti means kills. Who kills? Arjuna kills. Whom he kills? So he kills Karna. Is a second vibhakti. How? With the help of whom? So Bana, it is Banena. Who is Arjuna? Putraha. Again it is 1/1 Putraha, but Nrupasya Putraha is a 6/1. For the sake of Dharma is a 4/1, where in the Kurukshetra is a 7/1. So whole vibhakti, even to complete one action, we need all 7, help of all 7 vibhaktis. In Gita's language, it's called karakas. This 1, 2, 3, all are called karakas. So everything is given. First case, Prathama nominative subject, Putraha Arjunaha Karta. Second case is called accusative, Dvitiya, is object always there. The object means here not karma is it. The object is to finish action, what we, for whom we are doing that action is called karma. Same, Manena Tritiya. This is the explanation of all vibhaktis. Now, what we are seeing in our Anton, he always like, even I forgot to keep here, in Rama Raksha Stotra, no? Ramo Rajamani Sada Vijayate, Ramam Ramesham Bhaje. This, in this shloka, all 7 vibhaktis are, even 8 vibhaktis are included. But today I forgot to keep, let me see. No, you can check now. So anybody would like to chant Kupaha, Kupa, Kupaha, or you can replace by Rama? Who will do? One can take start, you know. Luvenaji, you can start. You can replace Kupaha by Rama. I don't like Kupa. Everybody will follow you. We have to, I never say by heart, but we should know this is this vibhakti.
So, Ramaha, Ramau, Ramaha, Ram.
Everybody will follow you.
Ramam, Ramau, Raman. Ramena, Ramabhyam, Ramaihi. रामाय रामाभ्यां रामेभ्यः
रामाय रामाभ्यां रामेभ्यः
रामात् रामाभ्यां रामेभ्यः
रामात् रामेभ्यः रामेभ्यः
रामस्य रामयोः रामानां
Ramanam. Here,
रामाणां
here it will come one minute. And because of Rekha, that rule will come. Ramanam.
रामस्य
रामे रामयोः रामेषु राम रामौ रामाः
Same way, this is called akara ending. Rama Shabda or Kupa Shabda. Same, this is a masculine. Pullingaha. Vana is akara ending. Neuter, Napusakaling. The difference between Kupa means Rama and Vana only in neuter. These two, accusative and nominative, are different. Rest is the same as a Rama Shabda. Always in neuter, nominative and accusative is saying Vanam Vane Vanani, Vanam Vane Vanani. Who will do? Somebody can do. Who will do?
Yeah, I will do.
Yeah, please.
Vanam Vane Vanani.
Vanam
वनानि
Vanam Vane Vanani.
वनं वने वनानि
Vanena Vanabhyam Vanehe.
Vanaihi.
Hey, sorry.
Vanaihi. Vanaihi.
Vanehi.
वनेन वनाभ्यां वनैः
Vanaya Vanabhyam Vanebhyah.
Vanaya.
वनाय वनाभ्यां वनेभ्यः
Vanat Vanabhyam Vanebhyah.
वनात् वनाभ्यां वनेभ्यः
Vanasya Vanayoho Vananam.
वनस्य वनयोः वनानां
Vane Vanayoho Vaneshu.
वने वनयोः वनेषु
Vana Vane Vanani.
Vana.
वन वने वनानि
Vanani. Now this is very important now. The verb agrees with its subject in person and number. So this is called verb. And this is called subject. When we say a boy falls, meaning balaha patati. If suppose, if I write here, balaha, then what would be the
Patanti.
patanti? It's called patanti. If balo, then if I write balo, then it will become patataha. So always verb agrees with subject, nominative case, prathama. Patataha. if I write another sentence, suppose Ramaha Ramaha Ramo Ramaha Ramam Ramo Raman. So if I say Mrugo, Rama says 2 deer, then what will be the verb? Mrugo patataha means pashyataha or pashyati.
Pashyati.
Hmm. Subject means object can be plural, subject may be dual, or subject may be singular. It never connect with any time with verb. This is the main rule of Sanskrit languages. Always they are connect with subject only. That's why we can write Pashyati Rama Mrugam. That's why only Pashyati Rama Mrugam. Mrugo Rama Pashyati. Sentence will remain, meaning will be the same. So we can put word anyway. So Mrugo Rama Pashyati, it will remain, meaning will be the same. For this reason only, if we say in English, Rama sees deer, so we can't say deer sees Rama. Totally different meaning, opposite meaning, but here we can write, we can put Mrugam Rama Pashyati. Mrugam Rama That's why always Sanskrit is a complete language. So the verb agrees with its subject in person and number. So a person is more. So Ramau, suppose we can write, let's say something Ramau. We can take another name, some Devadatta. Devadatta. Phalam is also neuter. If I write Phalani Khadati, then what would be the meaning? Khadati means
Eats. Devadatta eats fruits.
fruits, yeah. But if we say Devadattaha, suppose there are 3 Devadattas, let me take. So Devadattaha Phalani Khadanti. So this is the rule. Now, first one, the nominative case is used in 3 ways. So it's explained here to indicate the subject. So it is given here, the father leads. So Janakaha Nayati. Now you have some vocabulary because we have seen some verbs. So Nayati means to lead. Out of this Naya, there is a ni, no? It's become Naya. From this ni only, Nayakah Shabda they have prepared. Nayakah means leader. The father leads. Janakah Nayati. So nominative case is being used as it to indicate subject. Even nominative case is being used subjective complement. The sons becomes heroes. The sons become heroes. So putraha bhavanti viraha. Otherwise we can say putraha viraha bhavanti. So this for putra, this vira is a complement. Son is like a hero. And to indicate a noun in apposition to the subject. Apposition we can take as a visheshana, adjective. So Rama, the hero, conquers. Here, subjective complements means your son is like becomes a hero when they have done something, but they are already hero. Rama, hero, so it becomes Ramaha, Viraha, and conquers means Jayati. For this, I have kept something ready for you. Yeah. There is a second, Dvitiya is there. There is another. Again, this is Dvitiya. This one. So I have given many examples, that's why. So usage of subject, Prathama Vibhakti, first case. So first is a karta. In syntax, first will come karta. We can use as a subjective complement, and third one is the apposition to subject. So first, usage as a subject. So Nrupaha hasati. The king laughs. Nrupaha khadati annam. The king eats a food. Ramaha gacchati vanam. Rama goes to forest. Ramaha sitam pashyati. Rama sees Sita. So Nrupaha is a subject karta which takes first case Prathama Vibhakti. Here this sentence Nrupaha hasati is a complete sentence. Even next sentence Nrupaha khadati is a complete. But when we use is a subjective complement. So it's explained in next. So putraha viraha bhavati. The son becomes a hero, or the son is a hero. Putraha actually is a subject karta which take prathama vibhakti first case. Here if I say the sentence, I think the sentence putraha bhavati, the son becomes, it is not complete sentence. So it is not complete sentence because you must ask me the son becomes what? The role of the word viraha in this sentence is called subjective complement, and it is necessary to make sentence complete. The word viraha, a hero, the complement of the verb to complete the predication. a verb needs a complementary word to fulfill the sentence. That's why Viraha considered as a complement of Putraha. The verb becomes, yeah. So as a complement word, Viraha takes Prathama Vibhakti. But here Viraha we can't consider as an adjective. Prathama Vibhakti, the first case singular following the case and number of Putra becomes Viraha. If Putraha are dual, Putro, then Viraha becomes Viro. If Putra is plural, Putraha, Viraha also becomes Viraha. Note, here Bhavati can be omitted in the sentence. Putraha Viraha. It is also good enough. Need not to put Bhavati. Son is hero. The son is a hero. Is a verb. But without verb also it works. In Sanskrit it works.
Swamiji,
Yes.
here Bhavati is working as a verb,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, but
Veera will, how can that be, it is an adjective, right? So how can it be?
no, it is not adjective. That's why this is a complement of Putra. And it is written also okay, without asking Putra Bhavati. If we ask Putra Bhavati, what Putra Bhavati? Then it completes the sentence. Putra becomes now your Putra becomes hero, you know. It's Shurviraha, hero. So this is complement, subjective complement. It is not adjective. Now in third it will comes as an adjective. Here to complete sentence we need something. Otherwise the sentence cannot be complete. That's why we can take as a complement of this is called subjective complement. That's why only. Again I can read Putraha. You see here what some is explained here. Drupaha is subject karta which take Prathama Vibhakti, first case, and this is the sentence. Drupaha hasati. Sentence is complete. Same way Drupaha khadati, sentence is complete. But if I say Putraha bhavati, so what Putraha bhavati? Putra is. Bhavati means is, we can put as a become also. But what Putra? So by asking what Putra, whatever we put, we can say Murkha also. Putra Murkha Bhavati. So this Murkha is a complement of this subject. So whenever Bhavati comes, no, at that time we need this subjective complement. In other any verb, we need not to put this subjective complement.
Correct.
Understand, Pooja?
Yes.
So that we have seen. So it's clear, no? Subjective complement. Yeah. Now, same usage of apposition to the subject. Here we are using adjective and an adjective to the subject. Ramaha agachati. So agachati is he comes. Gachati means to go. Agachati means come. So Ramaha agachati. We need not to put. This is also a complete sentence without viraha. Ramaha agachati. Rama comes. But which type of Rama? So Ramaha, who is hero, he comes. So agachati doesn't need any subjective complement. So, but when we put still something is called apposition, or we can call as an adjective, visheshana. It's called visheshana. So there is a difference between subjective complement and visheshana or opposition. Some verb need subjective complement, like putra bhavati. So this type of putraha vidyate, there are 4 verbs, it will come. But let me see. Asti is very familiar. One verb, asti, meaning is bhavati. Both are same. Asti, bhavati, and yet we have not seen atmanepadi. There is a one vidyate. Meaning remains same. Putraha asti, putraha bhavati, putraha asti, putraha vidyate. But we can ask to them, putra is, all meaning is same, is. But still it is not complete sentence. We have to ask what putra. So a putra is like whatever you would like to put. If viraha, murkha, whatever. But they need something. But some, except this, all sentence is complete. So Ramaha is subject karta, which takes prathama vibhakti. First case. Here a sentence Ramaha agachati is a complete sentence. Look, it is written here. The role of word viraha in this sentence is called visheshana, adjective which distincts the particular object from the object of the same group. So it separate. There are many Ramas, but Rama, who is the hero? So it just distinct from one group. Is a visheshana adjective word, viraha also takes prathama vibhakti. The first case singular following the case and number of the Ramaha, so it becomes viraha. Right now, I just forgot, is a classical definition of visheshana. So what is the usage of visheshana in sentence? Our Pujya Swamiji used to always tell, need not to use every time visheshana. Sometimes, there are many people, beautifully, they keep on adding some visheshana adjective, but adjective has something specific role. So there is a definition. I will keep in our WhatsApp group. Right now, it doesn't come in my mind. What is the role of visheshana in the sentence? So the note, the word viraha means hero is a visheshana. Adjective is an attribute. A word Ramaha, and Ramaha is called Visheshya, and Viraha is called Visheshana. The relationship between Ramaha and Viraha is called Visheshana Visheshya Sambandha, and it is called as apposition or Samanadhikaranyam. Suppose Samanadhikaranyam, what is the meaning? Suppose, same, let me say, Ramaha. Even this vibhakti are called in same vibhakti, is called Samanadhikaranam. So Ramaha agachati, or Ramaha gachati, let's say agachati. Rama goes to forest. Ramaha gachati. We say vanam gachati. So this is a complete sentence. Need not to put any word. Still complete sentence. But if we say which type of Ramaha, so we say Pita, one who follows, father's word. So Pita Anugame, but it is, let's we put Viraha. It is difficult. Viraha Ramaha. Ramaha, who is hero, goes to Vanam. So this is also in first case, one by one. This Viraha is also one by one. So it is called Saman Adhikarana. Adhikaran means here is not Saptami Vibhakti. Here Adhikaran means Vibhakti only. Prathama. If both are in second case, so we can say Samanadhikaran. We can say Sundaram Vanam. So Sundaram and Vanam is in Samanadhikaranam, is in one same Dvitiya Vibhakti. So here Adhikaranam is not locative case, but here Adhikaranam is in same case. And why this is too much important, you know? Tat there is a one Mahavakya in Vedanta, Tattvamasi. It is actually Tattvamasi. Actually, Tvamasi, you are. Tvam means you, Asi means are, you are. Tat, this is Tvam, we have seen in later, but it is one by one. You, Tvam means you. And Tat is also one by one. So both are in Samanadhikaranyam. Both are in one same Vibhakti. Is called. Then how can be Tat and Tvam are one and same? It will be discussed. But this is called Samanadhikaranam. There are 4 types of Samanadhikaranam. Need not to go because it is Vedanta. So still it is given here. Mahat Neelam Sugandhim Utpalam. Utpalam is called lotus. Which type of lotus? Is the Utpalam is one by one, neuter gender. That's why Vanam Vane Vanani, Utpalam Utpale Utpalani. So it is neuter gender. Which type of lotus? It's called fragrant. So one who has fragrance. Sugandhi Utpalam. What is the color of Utpalam? Neelam. It is a blue lily. And there are many lilies inside the pond. Which type of lily you are talking about? So it says Mahat means which is bigger one. So each and every word qualifies this Utpalam. So all are in same appositions. Samanadhikaranyam. This qualifies this Utpalam. In Taittiriya Upanishad, there is a one sentence, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. This Brahman is also neuter one by one. This Anantam. So this is not qualified Brahman, but these are the Lakshana of Brahman. Brahman is Anantam, Brahman is Jnanam, Brahman is Satyam. This is also called Samanadhikaranya, but it's different Samanadhikaranya. It will be discussed in Vedanta. But these are called Samanadhikaranya. And these are the usage of nominative case, first vibhakti. Any question regarding this? First nominative case? Then we can go into second case, accusative case, karma vibhakti. If it is, this is clear, then we can enter in second case. Clear, no? Okay. Now they given the accusative case is used. So it is given to indicate the direct object of a transitive verb. What is the meaning of transitive? There are 2 types of verb. Verb means verb dhatu. Transitive, intransitive. But I am writing dhatu. Let me write with dhatu. It says 2 types. Sakarmaka. In here, akarmaka. So what is the meaning of sakarma? What is the meaning of akarma? Suppose there is one is gachati. You know the meaning of gachati. And another is sidati, to sit. So in gachati, we can ask, where are you going? If pashyati, we can ask, what are you seeing? A verb to which we can ask the question and we can have the answer is called transitive. Sakarmaka, who takes karma of seeing to doing any kriya. So gachati, where, pashyati, what. So we can say pashyati, I can say I am seeing elephant. Gajam aham pashyami. Gachati, where are you going? So I can say nagaram gachati. He goes to city. But sidati means to sit. Can we ask what we sit, where we sit? So a verb who never take any karma of doing to complete the action is called akarmaka. One who doesn't take any karma to complete the action is called intransitive. And one who takes karma is called sakarmaka. Here it is mentioned as the transitive. So transitive is called sakarmaka. Intransitive, they have not explained here, it will come later, it's called akarmaka. So there is a sentence, the father leads the son. The father, Janakaha, leads, means nayati. Whom nayati? Who takes? So its answer is putran. So nayati is transitive verb. Even we can Janakaha gachati. Any verb. But when sleep is intransitive, sit is intransitive. But if we say khadati, again we can ask, what is the object of eating? We can say puri, anything, khadati. So all are called transitive. And most of all verbs are transitive. There are few verbs is intransitive, like sleeping, sitting, which is connected to oneself is intransitive. So this putran is called direct object of transitive verb. So putraha is direct verb and nayati is transitive verb. Okay. Again, second is to indicate now objective complement. But this objective complement we will see later. But I would like to show you something. Now, do you know this? What is the meaning of kupehi? What is the meaning of kupehi? Who will translate? Even manehi. The translation of kupehi. Tell me, what is the translation of?
From the forest or from
With the help of kupa, many kupas. With the is yeah. Why I'm asking what I would like to tell you. Do you know Om Badram Karne Vishrunuyama Devaha Badram Pashe Makshabhir Yajatraha? So in this Let me write. Bhadram Karnebihi Shrunuyam. But this is Bhadram Karnebihi. I'm interested only this because you have not seen this much more. But this is Karnebihi. According to this rule, Karna is a neuter. This Karna word is a neuter. And we can decline like Vana Shabda. Karna means ear. So Karanam we have to decline like Vanam Vane Vanani, Vanam Vane Vanani, Vanena Vanabhyam, Vanehi. Same Karanam, Karane Karanani, Karanam Karane Karanani, Karanena Karanabhyam Karanehi. But still, in this Shanti Pata, Karanebihi is written. So we can't say this is a wrong sentence. This is a wrong. In Vedas, even sometime even Gita also, there are many words are like that. We can't say is a incorrect, but we can take as a Chandasam. Chandasam means it belongs to Veda. I have no right to say this is correct or incorrect. According to our understanding, it should be Karanehi, but we can't say. This Veda has made mistake. With now I know little bit Sanskrit, that's why it should be Karanehi. We can't say like this. This is called Chandasam usage. There are many words are available in mantras of Vedas. They are called Chandasam. They don't follow the regular rule of what we are saying. It's called Chandasam. You have not seen yet one thing, Atmanepadi, but do you know that Satyameva Jayate? I think in seventh chapter, even what last time somebody has asked me, it's called Chandasam, even in Gita also. This is Kaschit Yatati. This is a one verb is called Yatati, means to put effort. Yata, Yat is there. To strive for, to put effort. And it is a Atmanepada. We have to write as a Yatate. It will come after 2 to 3 lessons in Anton, but we have to make Rup like this Yatate. But here, it is used by Vedavyasa Yatati. We can't say Vedavyasa doesn't know Sanskrit grammar, you know. If he is right Yatati, then it should be Yatati only. This is called Chandasam usage.
Swaminiji, this is the same thing is also called as Arsha Prayoga or something.
Yeah, it's called Arsha Prayoga also. Same way in 5th, last time I think she has asked Upagna in 5th chapter. Gneyassa Nitya Sannyasi. You know? I think she has asked. What she has asked is correct. Gneyasya Nitya Sannyasi yo na dveshti na kankshati. Here. According to, we have seen many, now you are master in Visarga Sandhi, no? So here it is Saha Nitya Sannyasi. Actually, Saha Gneyaha Nitya Sannyasi Yona Dveshti na Kankshi. So here visarga is there, and visarga is followed by soft consonant. So it should be so. Like here, what they have put no, yo. Same way here, it should be so nitya sannyasi. But still, Vedvyasa he didn't put. He put neyah sanitya sannyasi. So this is also called Chandasam or Arsha Prayoga. These all are called Chandasam usage. So is it clear? So anybody would like to ask anything?
Does that mean, Swamiji, Chandasan usage means it's just to complete the chanda?
Chandas Prayoga. We say Chandasam usage or Prayoga or Arsha Prayoga, what Arvind says. We can't say this is wrong. This is, Vedvyasa doesn't know Sanskrit grammar or Veda mantras doesn't know. But we have to accept. Even many mantras are there. I will show you.
It is just to basically do the fit the meter.
Yeah. No, even without even we put inside like yo, so it doesn't change the meter, but still they have put. Not to filling up meter, but sometimes they would like to put like this. Vedvyasa or this, or I would say this mantra is not written by anyone. It just comes from, it says from Bhagwan's mouth, as it is. No, it's called Apaurusheya. All mantras of Veda mantra are called Apaurusheya, which is, it is not written by anybody else. But still, all in mantras, if we say mistake, we have no right to say this is a mistake made by mantras or Bhagwan. We say it is Arsha Prayoga or Chandasa. Chandasa Prayoga. Here, Chandas is not a meter. Here, the meaning of Chandas is Veda. Okay? Even if you know, Yachandasam Rishabho Vishwarupaha. Have you heard that mantra, Dashashanti mantra? It comes. Yachandasam Rishabho. In this also, Chandas is not meter. The meaning of Chandas is Veda. So one Sanskrit word has different meaning. So Chandas sometimes we take as a meter also. Chandaha we can take as a mantra, Veda also. Okay. So shall we do Purnamada now? Yeah. We can chant together, no problem. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om.